What's going on? This I can just came to talk to you about a subject matter that I was speaking to one of my coworkers about, who's actually of Mexican descent, and basically breaking down to him a lot of things that, in theory, he kind of already knew just from talking to his ancestors and knowing part of his history. The things I brought to him basically just was like confirmation. I seen his whole face lit up because our relationship, it kind of went from, like I said, people have preconceived notions based on what media and society has taught them to believe, that this group of people is like this. They're bad, or they're criminals, or they're this and that. And it kind of created a lot of separatism between all of us, all the occupants of this planet. Separate us. And until you come conscious and you do your own research and try and get to understand different people, their cultures and their history and their legacy, and see how they actually come and intertwine and meet and come together, you really just will stay ignorant to it and just take what you was given as fact and truth. So to say, when I first started working with him, a lot of them were real standoffish of me, didn't like me, without even getting to know me. Like I said, just with those notions that preconceived, that are ingrained into us. And I hated how it made me feel. It made me feel like an outcast. And some of them were the same complexion as me. Some were darker than me. There was one lady that worked there. She was darker than me. She was a cook, and she was Mexican. And at times I was trying to break down to her. I was like, you're black. I mean, even though, look at her skin color. Basically, me and you were the same. And you should have seen her. The woman went crazy, lost her mind. She was like, as if I just called her the devil himself. That was her reception to me saying me and her were the same. So, and a lot of it, like one time, and this really hurt my feelings a lot. You know what I mean? I know y'all see that I'm pretty strong, strength, stuff like that. But overall, I'm still human. And I was working with one of the coworkers. It might have been a few months into the job, and I had to go on the walk-in to get something. I think she was already in there. When I opened the door, the expression on her face was like, oh snap, like I'm trapped. I'm in here, like what do I do? And yeah, like I saw it, I felt it, I sensed all that. She didn't have to say it with words, but that was the worst thing to happen to me, because I'm not that kind of person. I'm the person that'll try to protect you first, physically, protect you emotionally, protect you whatever I have to do from any type of harm, and I don't even have to know you. It's just the human thing to do, is compassionate, is what's right. If someone is being a victim to some type of abuse or harm, it's for you to protect them. So we've since progressed from that. It took a long time, and I don't feel like it should have took that long, because for one, if you see Mexicans congregating, they don't have to know another Mexican. If he's in harm, or if he's hungry, or if he's homeless, they will make it their duty to fix that right then and there. Accept that person, embrace them, and show them immediate love, just on the strength of them being Mexican. So it took over a year and maybe some more for them to get completely comfortable around me and enjoy my presence and my company. So like I said, me and the coworker, we started talking about this. He's a young guy, I think he's 20 something, 22 maybe. And now that I'm learning, I'm able to speak to him about it. So I started mentioning certain things, bringing up certain things. He just had this smile on his face and like a sigh of relief. Like, wow, like, all right, he knows. And we started building on it, just breaking bread, everything. And so I brought this to him, and I actually brought it to another one of my coworkers. I can't go too in depth on that one without exposing too much, but one completely rejected it, and the other one was open to it, but basically like, can you prove it to me? So I said, basically, you're not Mexican, right? And he was like, He just looked at me like he wanted to know. He knows they know I'm pretty, intelligent. I know some things, so they're not looking at me as a dummy and I'm crazy. So he just wanted to comprehend it. So I said Mexican is like it's a geographic location. It's where you're from. It's not who you are. It's not ethnicity. Because when you come from Mexico to come to America, you're coming and you have to claim nationality, which in the word prefix is nation, nationality. So I said, all right, you always gotta make them think. You can't really give them all the information. They still won't accept it. You gotta make their own brain accept it. So I said, you got Mexico, you got Puerto Ricans, you got Dominicans, you got Cubans. What do they all have in common? And he stopped. He couldn't really figure it out right then and there. So of course I had to help him out. I said, basically your language. He was, oh yeah, but it's different. We all speak different. I said, no, I understand that. I said it's different dialects and some of your word uses are different throughout the different cultures of, Puerto Rican, Cuban, Mexican, stuff like that. So I understand that. It's good that I have a more than a basic understanding of the language that they speak. So I said, where does your language derive from? Of course. And he's Mexican. He's supposed to know this. Of course he knows, but he stopped because it just seemed like a trick question. Like, where's he going with this? So I told him. I said, España. So he looked at me. He's, oh, yeah, España, Spain. So all y'all speak Spanish. Y'all got that in common. But y'all all separate yourself and say, well, they're Puerto Ricans. I'm Mexican. And they're, Cuban. And they're this and they're that. Or I'm half Cuban and half Dominican. When you look at it, those places, again, are geographic locations. They are not nationalities. They're not ethnicities. None of that. They're locations of where you were born. So like I said, I always have to use this analogy. You take a bear and put him in, the lion cage at the zoo. Is he still a bear? Or is now he in the lion cage, is he a lion? He's still a bear. So it's the same thing. I said basically we've been tricked, conned into believing that we're all separate. And I said the fact that that all the languages and most Mexicans for the most part seem to be Catholic, and that's based on how religion was imposed on us demographically, I guess you could say. Different demographics of people, they wanted to have different cultures and different religions imposed on them for different